Hey VC, how you doing? It's Gordon at I Dig Vinyl. I'm going to take a little chance here while the kids are away to put together a quick video showing off some of the cool stuff that I picked up in the month of September. So September was a strangely very busy month for me in terms of work and more importantly vinyl acquisitioning, if such a thing exists. So picked up an awful lot of albums, put together a little video just the other day showing off a big box of mixed things that I picked up off of eBay. But certainly aside from that, I also got quite a lot of other bits and pieces from a variety of sources. So I thought what we'll do very quickly in a fairly uninformed manner, because I haven't had much of a chance to listen to these albums, is just show you what else I've picked up. So these are big highlights for me for the month of September. Mostly sort of brand new reissues. One completely new album just released a few weeks ago, and I've got I think, is this called VCLT? I don't know if that's what it is, but I've got my record of the month, which I'll share from my man Jack at the Vinyl Voyage as well. So I'm going to go quite quickly, fly through them. Most of these albums I know little bits about. I haven't had too much of a chance yet to play them. Most of them are still sealed. I've probably had a good bit of streaming of all of them, but without further ado, here I go. So starting off, this one came in from Jack at the Vinyl Voyage. This was my record of the month. We swap, or we send one each month. It can be a new album, a reissue, anything really. We both know each other's taste pretty well, but we also like to try and throw something to the other one that they probably, well, they haven't got, but we think that they'll like. So Jack got it right again with this one. It's XTC Skylarking. I don't have any XTC stuff at all, so I've heard of the album, loads of times, but probably not listened to it in any great depth, and it is great. I've loved streaming this one so far, and learning quite a lot about the process of it sort of being put together. Great stories from the studio sessions with Todd Rundgren and Andy, whose second name I forget right now, from Skylarkin. He described the experience as something like having two Hitlers in the one bunker, which is really interesting, in terms of how they came up with such a brilliant album. It's acknowledged to be XTC's sort of masterpiece, but I know it didn't sell very well at the time, certainly not in the UK. Totally took off in America with a particular song, but it's a great piece of work. So thank you to Jack for that. I'm going to enjoy listening to that a lot more over the coming weeks and months. Um, Another album. This is just to be honest, it's a pretty much an impulse buy. I was watching an online auction that was taking place a few weeks ago, and unfortunately for me, it was happening round about payday. So the payday fever dropped down. I usually get this every month, so I had been paid. I've got all this spare cash, he likes to say, sitting there, and yeah, I went for this album, which was on sale at half price. Mercury Rev's album All Is Dream. Don't have any Mercury Rev stuff at all, but I thought I would like to get some into my collection. So I've been streaming it a bit. What I've heard so far, yes, I've really enjoyed. It's an album from 2001. I actually had a wee look at it earlier on there, and I'm not sure if I've got some sort of bonus edition, but I didn't realise it was a double album. Loads on it. So what I've listened to so far is kind of what I was looking for. Pretty sort of blissed out, chilled indie stuff, which I'm enjoying. So again, I'll get that out and enjoy it properly over the next few weeks. So that was Mercury Rev, a new one for me. A totally random one here. I was again probably dangerously browsing around on Vinted, and I picked this up just completely randomly. I like the look of it. It's hidden orchestra and reorchestrations, which is sort of electronic, jazzy, kind of ambient. These are reinterpretations of a bunch of musicians that I have absolutely not heard of whatsoever. I'll just sort of hover over there. Hidden Orchestra, I think, is really, it's one person, whose name I will pop up once I find out a little bit more about it. But this is it's really interesting actually. There's some stuff that's got beautiful vocals on top of really interesting electronic music. Some of it's kind of drum and bassy, it's quite ambient at times. It's chilled, it's jazzy. It's all of those things at different times. So not someone I've heard of at all. Total impulse buy, and yeah, happy to have it added into the collection. So that's Hidden Orchestra and Reorchestrations. And then just to quickly show off another few here. This one was, I think, the only new album I bought in September. It's a band called The Chords, and their debut album, self-titled, it's The Chords. The Chords are a two-piece. They're sisters. They're from not too far away from me, where I live. Brilliant indie stuff. Very much of the C86 um, sort of twee indie. Is that what we call it? So it's guitar led, super catchy. It's just a two piece, one both singing, beautiful harmonies, very jangly, mega catchy. Loads of short, sweet indie songs, just guitar and drums. Well worth checking out. These guys are really smashing people, and so a great album. They're touring widely at the moment, and I think they're probably going to be pretty big. So The Chords and their debut album, The Chords, twangy, jangly, twee, indie pop. Last, I again round about Payday, which was, it seems a while a while ago now. It's a fair old month stretching out in front of me, but I got a wee bit excited looking at Rough Trade. I don't know why now, because they're not really bargain buys, but I found myself, the vinyl fever had descended, and I bought 4 albums from Rough Trade. So I'm going to quickly show them off. I thought what I'll do is I'll take a chance here to add some what I think are probably sort of classics into my collection, things that I've heard of, but not listened to, never owned them on CD, never had them in my collection or really on my radar too much. So 4 coming up from Rough Trade, a completely different sort of mix that I've been enjoying streaming so far. They're not out the packet yet because I've got so much other stuff just now, but I'll quickly show them off. First one, picked up Elliott Smith's album, Super 8, sorry, Figure 8. It's absolutely brilliant. I love that. I've familiar with Elliott Smith for many years, but never really owned any of his stuff, and so I wanted to take the plunge here. Absolutely brilliant what I've listened to so far. I know I'll enjoy more Elliott Smith stuff as well. So mega talented. Just a great listen. It's, what is it? It's indie. It's, some of it reminds me of sort of almost sort of Beach Boysy, Beatlesy stuff, but it's just a great album actually, and I'll enjoy playing that an awful lot more. So it was Elliott Smith's Figure 8, and then wanted to get a few different ones at the same time, so I picked up the album Flower Boy from Tyler the Creator. Again, it's one that I dipped into a few times, but only probably, a tiny percentage of what's actually on the album. So I've listened to a few songs in the past, but I've been streaming it, and I think it's one of those ones that it's much more of an album to enjoy in the whole or in the round sort of thing. It's really good. And I haven't got any other Tyler the Creator stuff, so I've enjoyed that, and that's again, I think it's one of those albums that will reward multiple plays. There's so much going on in it actually. So yeah, I've enjoyed what I've heard of Tyler the Creator's album, and that's another one that will keep me going over the few months ahead. So I also picked this one up from Rough Trade. This is an album that has been on my radar quite a bit for the 2 reasons that are up here. I've enjoyed listening to a lot of Pharoah Sanders this year, and I've also enjoyed dipping into some floating points. So this is an absolute classic, isn't it? It's a modern, probably a modern masterpiece, I suppose. So Floating Points and Pharoah Sanders together with the album Promises. It's just magnificent. One of those ones to put for me, put the headphones on and just drift away. The playing of everyone involved is tremendous. So it comes in a bunch of different movements, but yeah, this is one of those ones where you can take yourself off to all sorts of different dimensions. To be honest, when you're listening to it, it's a great piece of work. So kind of electronic at times, quite ambient, but obviously get that spiritual jazz vibe of Pharoah Sanders as well. So yeah, modern masterpiece, Floating Points and Pharoah Sanders. And last but not least was an album again. It's been on my radar for quite a while, but without ever really investigating it very much. It's the album by Rodriguez. It's Cold Fact. It's that sort of underground classic. I don't think it was in the radar really anywhere at all, apart from I think South Africa, for many years after it was released in about 1970. So the story of Rodriguez is quite very well documented in an interesting documentary where there are some sort of super fans, I think it is, that go searching for Sugar Man, which is the title track here, or the opening track of the album. I haven't actually watched the documentary, but I'll try and check it out. But the album itself is a classic, I think, or a sort of now discovered or rediscovered classic. I've not seen it floating around the VC too much, but I've listened to it quite a bit again, streamed it quite a bit recently, and it's dead interesting. The kind of sort of variations on who Rodriguez sounds like, it sort of mixes up from time to time. There's certainly for me there's some kind of combination of sort of Bob Dylan. There's Love Spoonful. There's touches of Donovan, that kind of stuff. And then there's only one song I think that sort of jumps out in a different way. It's All of Us. I think it's the second song. You've got all sorts of sort of Cream style guitar and stuff like that. So it's kind of fuzzy and yeah, Eric Clapton sort of Cream era guitar. So it's a really interesting mixture of music. Generally very catchy stuff, and unusually massively popular in South Africa during the 70s, and it's to do with the sort of lyrical content rather than the music itself. So there's lots of kind of references to sort of anti-establishment references, I suppose, that people took to over there. And it's interesting that it never really took off in the same way around the more sort of established sort of US and UK markets, I guess. But yeah, so that's one that I've enjoyed listening to as well. Rodriguez and Cold Fact. Whoa, so that's it. I think I've picked up about 10 there, and that was on top of the big bunch of other stuff that arrived in a box just recently. So I've got loads to get on with. And to be honest, I'm going to head down to the charity shop later on today to make a bit of a donation. So the universe has brought stuff in. The universe needs to put some stuff out there as well. So I'm at the point where I don't really have the space for all the vinyl that I've been bringing in. So I'm going to create more space. Maybe a secret bunker or something like that is the next step. So hope you enjoyed the video. And any comments as usual. It's always great to hear what people think. You guys know more about these albums than I do, so appreciate that. So give it a wee like, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say about that out there. Apart from that, take it easy, guys, and we'll see you another time. Cheers, bye.